I love adding different ephemera pieces to my projects, and tickets are one of my favorites. I get a lot of printables that have tickets to them, and I love them. This one has all different size tickets, and these are great to have. But today we're going to take some ticket shapes, and I'm going to provide some for you in the comments below for free. We're going to take those that have pattern paper in them and decorate our own tickets for our Halloween projects. So let's jump into it. The supplies you may need, and you don't have to have all these things. These are the things I'm using, and you may have some other things that work well, and if they do, please comment below and let me know. I love making tickets, and so I'm always looking for good ways to do these. I have this little paper trimmer that I picked up online, and it has a great cutting blade on it, a wavy blade, a scoring blade, and a perforated blade, and I've used that some, and I will show you how I have made use of that. I also have several different hole punches, different sizes. I've got some decorative scissors that make a nice end on the tickets that we have, and then I also have these hole punches of a 1/2 inch and a 3/4 inch that I'm utilizing, and of course my regular longer scissors and small scissors. So these are some things I'm going to use, and so let's jump in to making these tickets. Of course, I can put this in a paper trimmer, but it never fails. I have a hard time lining things up with cut marks like this. You may be just fine, but to me it's easier to just get my scissors out and trim them out. Now because of the lines at the bottom, I'm going to try to use my trimmers, decorative scissors that I have. But if you'll notice, they are not the same edging as this, but I think that's okay. It's just we're looking for a decorative piece on the end. And so really what I'm doing now is I'm going to trim out from the sides, and then we'll go in. Like I could go ahead and do this one right here, and I'm just going to do my best to kind of line it up, but it's not going to line up perfectly. And let me show you another thing I found. So in this case, I tried to line it up and I left some of the white. If I will go in, and I don't know if I can do it with the piece, and just begin cutting about just very close, I can get rid of that white piece, and it's still going to give me the jagged edge. It messed up right there, and I think that's just because of that I had already done the cut. Let's see if we can try it here on this other side. I just want to go ahead and trim this whole strip out. Okay, and now I'm going to take my decorative scissors on this end, and I'm going to go in just a little bit, and it's going to take, okay, and then to right here I have to kind of line it up, and I think that works out much better. Then I can take my scissors. If you have a hole punch, that will work, and actually I may have one that does work now. Let me look at the size of this piece. I have these 3 different hole punches, the 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, and 1 inch. And even though I tried to kind of measure that, let's see if we can get a nice, okay, so this is with the 1/2 inch. If we like, I don't know if I like how that's lining up. This is not even a 1/2 of a circle. Okay, I think I like the 3/4 inch better. And I'm just going to come down to where I think I like that much better. Let's see if we can just kind of clean this end up on this side. Now, this is going to work for these larger ones. We'll have a different story when I get in to the smaller ones. But I'm going to continue that, trim these tickets out, and we might do a little bit of inking too to kind of clean up any of my cutting imperfections. Now, once I have my ticket cut to the level I like, right here I've got a little piece that I want to trim off, and I'm going to try to use the paper trimmer here And I like to spin that around though to the cutting blade. And I can line this up really well on this trimmer. I like that I can see where I've got a cutting place. And I just needed a sliver that took out a little bit of that white. And so I can see that a little bit better. I like that. So here's one individual ticket ready. I also want to show you what would happen if I use the 1/2 inch punch right there. See, it gets just a little bit of that white. So I'm going to go back in now with my 3/4 inch punch and just clean it up a little bit. I think that just looks better. And again, if you don't have these punches, you can use your scissors. And that's a nice, easy little trim out right there. Also, same thing as I was mentioning with the decorative scissors. If you don't have decorative scissors, that's fine too, especially with these bigger ones. You can either decide to just trim it straight off or just take your smaller paper scissors and go into these little nooks and crannies and trim them right off. But I do like a good pair of scissors. Some of you may also have dies that cut out tickets, and you could lay those over this or get some more of your own decorative paper that you like and make tickets along with us. But today we're doing a die-free project, just using these printables that you can have. And now we'll go through here and trim these up some more. Cute kitty cats. So now for the smaller tickets that are a little over 1 inch in height. Let me see which one. So I had used the 1/2 inch punch for the 1 3/4. And that seemed to work well. This one, we may go back to our regular paper punch. It's still, this one's the size that's gonna give us the issues because it's a little smaller. I think I'm gonna do the paper. I'm gonna show you how I do it here. I'm just going to slowly turn the paper. We don't want to turn the scissors if we can help it. And when I say that, if that's how you cut, that's how you cut. But people that I have watched that do a lot of fussy cutting, they turn the paper as opposed to turning the scissors an awful lot, if that makes sense. So I'm cutting and I'm turning my paper with the shape that needs to be cut. And I cut this after I've done the edges. There we go. I like that. As I'm getting ready to decorate, I just wanted to show you some of the things that I have. So I've pulled out little stickers and other small little die cuts that I have. Die cuts and cut aparts of things. So those are going to be great to add into here. And if you remember a while back, I made several of these little flowers and other little, they were greenery, but I've turned them into Halloween colors. And I've got some other little stickers, and here's some glittery pumpkins that I have in a baggie. I'll keep all this stuff handy as I'm working. I also recently picked up this confetti mix from Michael's, and I thought it might have some cute things that might look good. They have words, they have pumpkins, they have little ghosts. There's so many cute little things and all the great colors of that. So I sometimes take confetti mix like this, and I think it makes a great thing to add. And then of course sequins. These are brand new packs that I got on clearance, and they have different patterns on the sequins, and so I thought these were really neat to have in the gold and the silver, so depending on what color we're going with. And one last thing that I have to pick from are some little words cut apart words that I've used on different things. You don't have to use the full rectangle. Some of these I've just cut out. And so if they need to go on any of the pages, I've got these. So I'm going to work on a few, and then I'll come back and we'll work on these together. So these are the tickets that I've already worked on. I have one of the strips here with the different little layered pieces and words, flowers. We've got some other little things. I kind of went more on the pink, and I did pull in this little bit of orange, but mainly the pink. And then I guess I did the individual tickets here. This is the larger one, and used one of the little confetti pieces, and I love this little kitty cat. These are those are printables that I just got and cut out. And then some other little pieces that I have here. I think I got these, all these pumpkins in the bag years ago at the Dollar Tree. Wrapped this around some of the twine and had the little ghost confetti piece. And then the smaller little ticket, the smaller little ticket has the little bubbled up pumpkin sticker on it with October. I think it is still so cute. And so those are some things, and I can put these in my little box and use these as I'm doing some decorating. But let's just work together and maybe pick a ticket strip to decorate together, and then we may do a ticket or two. But just to show you where I'm going when I'm thinking about doing these kind of decorations. So this is your non-traditional, of course, Halloween colors that I have from this set here. And I have my set of little cut aparts, and we can just decide what I have no idea what I'm even thinking about. Maybe something a little different than what we did last time on the other little ticket strip, because there's another, that cute little kitty cat. Stars are always fun. Would that not be cute to add in there? There's not an orange in the paper, but I think that would be cute. We could kind of go with an orangey theme. I have some other little orange pumpkins, or is that too much orange? So when I'm just doing this, I like to just kind of lay things out. There is an orange bat. And, oh, I also wanted to make sure I used some sequins. And I'm thinking the silver's going to go better with this color palette. So I'm going to keep those handy. We've already used a ghost. I have not used the shimmery pumpkin yet in the confetti pack. Oops, if I can grab one. So we have this pumpkin, and I don't think it matters which side we use. So if we want to have a little bit of a shimmer, that works as well. I also like using the words. I've used that in a couple of places, but here is a little word of boo. Thinking that might go better on a bigger ticket. So I might save that or something like that. These are just some of the pieces that I pulled out. There's another of the little ghost. But it's just a process of going through. And of course, the more little cut aparts that you have, the more opportunities of things to add on here. I always love also using the little flowers. I think that looks cute. Now I do have these little stickers that have pumpkins and everything. We could go with one of those. They have some stars. I think if I'm going to use that orange star, do we want to pull in another color pumpkin? It's kind of cute. We could go with something like that. I've also got the little background colors here. Let's see, any of these little pieces that would look good coming from behind. Could maybe do a little bit of that. And let's pick out a word we want to use. So that kind of goes along with this look. let's see, what about, let's go with season. It's not too spooky, but I don't think this setup is that spooky. And the cutting doesn't have to be perfect on these either. I think I got these words off of Creative Fabrica. I was wanting to make my own set, and maybe I'll get to that with another season. And maybe for Halloween next year. Okay, so I'm just kind of lining things up where I think I want them to go. That's pulling in the orange and the black. Oops, I've got a little sliver of paper that's in the way. Is that too much orange and black when we've kind of been going with the other colors? I guess anywhere I put it next to the orange. I move that there, then, but I do like the kind of stacked. We've got a lot going on there. That's good. Do we have anything else we want to add in? That might work. That piece of candy. And what about sequins? So let's go with the medium-sized sequins. And I haven't opened this. I think they may be, yes, I think they're like Ziploc bags. Actually, they weren't Ziploc after I went through all that trouble. But let's look at these. I like how there's different patterns. And look at that. It almost looks like glitter. You've got, I would say that's more like a regular sequin. Maybe kind of like a little holographic. Maybe that's the 3. And do you like to put your sequins which way? Concave up or concave down? I think I like to do concave up. Kind of gives a little bit of the reflection there. So if I'm going to put some of these down, kind of haphazardly, might as well put one on each of the little sections. And let's go with the glitter. How's that? Okay, now I need to glue everything down. And so I'll do that real quick and come right back and show you what I've got. And by the way, I just use my regular Tombow liquid glue. If I were putting something a little bit heavier, of course, if I needed to use my hot glue, I could do that. I need to add this kind of behind it, so I don't really want to press down quite yet. And we'll tuck that in there. So I'm just kind of playing with this, but this is the general way I think I'm going to do it. And then I'm going to let you take a look at it and see what we've got from there. Just adding the finishing touches to that. And so this is my little ticket strip. Let's pick out now another little individual ticket. Let's go with something like this, because I know I'm going to set this over here to the side. I know I want to use, what was it? I'm thinking about this little conversation bubble here that says boo. I think that would be cute to add in there, but what's going to be saying boo? So we need something that will say boo. Could it be a ghost? We could use that ghost there. Oh, I forgot I had this little witch too. Isn't that cute? That was a little die cut. So if we put the witch, if we do the ghost, he's saying boo. Have something like that. I kind of like these little black stars I have in here. There's a couple of black stars that are parts of confetti And I think they were kind of stuck together. So we could do a couple of stars here and there. I think I have a larger one. Let's vary that size. Yep, there's some larger ones. Just kind of building a little bit of a scene. That's kind of how I do these, but then sometimes I also like, I'm in the mood to like kind of doing some layering and stuff, but I think I'm going to kind of do the scenes right here. Does it need anything else? Do we see anything that we want to add? We might pop up, let's pop up that ghost with a pop dot here. So first I'm just going to attach the boo. And it kind of is going to hang over the edge. And then let's put this up on pop dots. Don't really need a lot. Have that coming up over that. And then we'll add our little stars. That material attracts a lot of little pieces of dust and stuff. But this is just confetti, so sometimes I'll just put the dot on the paper and then we will add that down. Same for down here. So I hope you will grab these little digitals. They're completely free for you. Just download at the link. I think you do have to put in an email, and that's part of the system that I'm using right now that will allow us to do it for free. And you can have your own little ticket cut aparts like this and decorate how you wish. I've still got several more to go. I will work on those. I love to have these available that I can add these to pieces as I want to. It's also good to just add into little inserts. These are great little swap pieces. Add them in and give those to people that they can do their own little decorating. You can place these across book pages or cut them up and use them individually. I like to have these too to just display on pages, or if you have any inserts in like little pockets and that sort of things, these work great. It's a cute little surprise that you can add to your feature. So I hope you've enjoyed making these tickets today, and I hope you will also have fun making your very own. I'll see you next time for the next cute little project. So this is the single sheet page that I have, and I'm going to end up cutting these out. And I just wanted to share with you the strips that I have cut out. And let's see, we have the 3 smaller and the 3 larger. So you'll see all this when you get your printable. I tried out a few things with these, and I just want to share with you before I do any kind of decorating or anything with these. For this particular one, something that I implemented is I used the decorative scissors on the end pieces, and then that left just a little bit of a white rounded piece that I took my smaller scissors and trimmed out. Now for the in-between tickets, I used this little hole punch that I have that makes a tiny hole right here. I don't have the size of this. I inherited these punches from a family member, and they have multiple little holes, but they don't give the actual dimension of the hole. But I thought, as you can see here, this would be perfect. And I'll try to find something and put it in my Amazon storefront so you can see. Just wanted to tell you that in between recording this video, I went to Hobby Lobby and I found these hole punches. So these are the 3 that they have at Hobby Lobby. These work great to do the little division punches right in between here. And so I carefully did that. I'll show you as I'm working on it. And then what I have been struggling with are these middle holes that are a 1/2 inch, but I don't have a 1/2 inch hole punch. My regular hole punch fits, as you can tell, right in the middle of this. And I have been doing different things, punching it and then trimming it out. And I thought, you know, I kind of like it, I think, with the round. It almost looks like those hole reinforcers. And so I think I'm going to go with this. And then as we begin decorating, it's, I don't think it's going to be very visible or an issue, as opposed to all these others. I've really been trying to focus on getting the hole completely cleaned out, and it may be the difference in the coloring. This has white in it versus this being the orange and black. This particular set, I tried something different. Yes, I think what I did is for this particular set, I'm taking my paper scissors, the decorative scissors, when I fold this in half and then trim, and that will create these little pieces, but it gets kind of messy at times. And so I'm not really liking that. I think ultimately it's going to be this hole punch that I like to use for that. And you can see that here as well. So I had started using the scissors here, and then I tried to go back and punch, and it kind of was a little too much. So that is one that I probably need to go back. Well, the reason I stopped punching this is because I had already folded. I think it works better if you punch, and then if you want to fold, you can fold. Talking all about bending paper and breaking fibers, that is what happened here when I folded first, and then I tried to go back in and punch, and it was just a weak area. So that is something about paper that we sometimes hear about, but you can actually see it taking place there. This, I really liked it with using the hole punches, but I'm really trying to clean out those holes, and it looks okay, but I think I've spent so much time on it, and when I start decorating, it's not going to be a big deal. And let's see, this one turned out similarly. And the last one that I wanted to show you, this is one of the first ones I did, and I used my paper trimmer that I have that I love. It has a perforated blade right here, and I love this perforated blade for different projects. I was going to try it with this because, and so this was before I did the punch. I perforated that, but it still wasn't getting those holes like I really liked it. But it's a great perforation, as I'm going to show you right here. It will just pull apart nicely if that's what I had wanted to do. So then I came through after perforating and tried to do the punch. And again, the paper becomes so weakened because of the perforation. And then I'm going in, cutting some more holes, and it's going to tear that up. So that method I don't think is one that I want to use with this project the way the holes are made. So with the little dots. So I just wanted to show you those things. I'm going to now take this and trim these out, and we'll be ready to start decorating these.